Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Thursday, October the 5th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. Trading stories we tell ourselves. Money management with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. Walmal, we just were talking to a trader and you made a comment that it gets down to one thing. The one thing that makes the difference between winning traders and losing traders is money management. So that's a trading story that you tell. So tell the rest of the traders out there, even though you've probably told
Sure.
them it before.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, my whole life, around trading anyway, is based around money management. They, preserve capital at all costs, an entire motif of that. And, what I just said to this trader is that you could have a method where you win 90% of the time and still be underwater. And just as easily, you can have a method where you lose 90% of the time and you can actually be a profitable trader. It doesn't come down to the method as much as it comes down to the money management. And it's just so important to preserve that capital, to keep your risk under control, because by keeping that risk under control, what it does for you, one, it keeps you glued together emotionally so that you're able to think. When you start getting to a point where you can't think because of emotion, then you start making mistake after mistake after mistake. You don't follow your method anymore, and it all seems to fall apart. And the next thing you know, you're sitting there with a blown account. And let me give you an example. Today has been a rough day for me. I've made call. I just made call right before I got onto this call with TRO. But I was in, think about this. First of all, my efficiency, according to the trade report, is 65%, which for me is absolutely atrocious based on the method that I use. Happens, But I was in a trade for, let me just go measure this out just to make sure that nobody can call me a liar.
Or fish, or
uh,
telling fish stories.
telling fish stories, exactly. I was in a trade, okay, for 34 minutes, okay, 34 minutes. Think about that, 34 minutes. I'm trading a method that I'm in and out of trade within a minute to 2 minutes. I was in a trade for 34 minutes, and on that trade, I made $5. Okay, I mean, so and basically what that basically means is that
You were
for
making
me,
10 bucks an hour.
exactly. I
What's
was
minimum
I was
wage where
making
you live?
it's probably about $15 an hour, something like that.
It's that
But
high there?
yeah, yeah.
Minimum wage? Wow.
Well, real minimum wage is $15 an hour. I don't know what it actually is in terms of the government, but because unemployment is so low here right now, it's $15. You can't hire for anybody for less than $15 an hour. So I don't know what it really is.
So you didn't even make minimum wage
I didn't even make minimum wage,
on that
exactly.
trade.
and but that's okay, But the thing is, I followed my money management plan. I had a place where I was allowed to go and enter in to go and try to mitigate some of the loss. I followed it exactly. I feel good about making that $5 because I did everything right. And yeah, I only got $5 out of it, but I did exactly what my plan called to do. And so I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm on top of the world right now because I did everything I did, and because I did everything I did correctly, what it did was it protected me against a really bad day or a bad week, and at the same time, got me out where I expected to get out. So how can I be upset about that?
Were you
You
stuck
know, that
long or short?
I was stuck long when it ran down. Started doing that dump right before the news last hour for the unemployment news, and what happened was I had gotten into the trade right before the news. I had forgotten. That's my fault. I had forgotten about the news coming out, and then it just did its little dump. And
Oh, that's my fault because we're usually trading before the news, and if my buddy hadn't have called me, I would probably just be now waking up.
exactly. But in any case, so I got caught. So my money management plan basically goes and says, okay, you got caught, okay, don't take a 10 pip loss here, or you go and wait for the next opportunity, for a trade, and as long as you don't go and breach, a certain dollar limit, we're okay. And so that's what I did. I just waited and waited and waited, and next thing I know, because I was able to go and do that, I got my opportunity to go and get in at the bottom side of all of this because I got a perfect signal. I went in, and then what I did was I got a second signal a little bit higher up, so I went in a second time, and I was able to get out. It probably went up about halfway back up, and eventually actually got all the way back up to my original entry price. But that's not the point. The point is it got up to the point where my money management plan said, get out. That way you're out of the mess and you're free and clear. You can let your brain relax a little bit, and that's what I try to do. I'm willing to go and only make at break even, or maybe make $5-10 or something like that. I'm willing to go and do that and take that trade so that I can go and take a break and let my brain go and relax from the mess and allow myself time to basically get my thoughts back together, analyze what I did, make sure I'm not doing anything I shouldn't have done, make sure I follow the method perfectly. In other words, realign, reassess, and then go forward. And it's sort of like, anything else you do in life, something doesn't go exactly as planned, you got to go and do that realignment. Did it not go against me? Did it go against me because I made a mistake, or did it go against me because that's just life? And things go against you. In life, things go against you. That's the reality of the world we live in. I'm sitting here. I'm not, first of all, I'm not an autonomous, being that's able to go and do things absolutely perfectly every single time, following an exact, rote plan. And at the same time, I'm playing in this field, in this game, with other individuals who I can't control. There are many, many things out of my control. The banks are out of my control. Okay, institutions are out of my control. My fellow traders who I trade with. Sometimes I trade with them, and sometimes I trade against them. I mean, TRO, how many times have you gone short and I've gone long at the exact same spot?
Right.
It happens. It happens. Why? Because you got a signal in one direction, and I got a signal in another direction. We're trading against each other at that moment in time. Still buddies, but that's just the reality of what's happening at that moment in time. I can't control what you're going to do, and you can't control what I'm going to do. And so, what do? You have to go and assess the situation and say, okay, I did what I was supposed to do. I'm happy.
And by the way, bottom of the hour in less than a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's really funny because I had gotten stuck. I was short, and then because the trader had called me, and I was telling him, you just got to take the signal when you see it. You can't think. And as soon as my trading screen came up, there was a signal to go short on the outside bar. Now let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Yeah,
I can see it on my chart.
I'm trying to. Let's see. Was it that one? Well, I actually, I use a different broker than so I can't. It doesn't show because on like I might have an outside bar on one broker, but the other one it could be an inside bar. It could be like a higher high bar or a lower low bar. So in fact, we just got another outside bar here on M1. So I took the short, then it reversed. So then I took the long, so I was hedged, and then it moved up, and so and then it stopped, and then I got a bear candle, so I popped out of the long. It came back down, and then I went short at the top of the outside bar, and then it came back, dove into the middle, and then it actually even went lower. But I'm not kicking myself because I made pips by pretty much following the plan. So like right here, there was right now is an outside bar break to the upside, and it went through the launch pad. And me and the launch pad, it was just like But since I'm on the video, I didn't. But we had an M5 outside bar break right at 2139.6, and so that would have paid off. And you can see right here, could have picked up a pip on this 2150. That was a high, but no, actually it was, yeah, 2150 was an M1 outside bar, and that would be good for was good for over 2 pips. So
Yeah,
like,
just so you know, everybody knows I did take that trade and I got 3 pips
oh,
on it.
you took the outside bar break, or was that a flip flop box?
It was a flip flop box and an outside bar all in the same exact spot,
Okay,
so I took it.
yeah.
But I
So
took it more for the outside bar than any other reason.
yeah, so the whole idea about money management, you got, and see, the thing is, you're more focused on the risk side, but you need to tell the traders about taking pips when they're available, so the market doesn't take it back.
Yep, exactly. That's what I do. Is I set my TP on this for 2.7 because I just know that usually breaking the outside bar, which is usually very good, but I'm running into that 55 level, and I'm always very skittish of 55. For some reason, it just seems to me it likes to bounce off of it or just barely get to it, and it goes and hits it 3 or 4 times before it actually goes and breaks it, and then it'll run right to 60. Well, because of that, I know that's what's happening. So for me, I just go and say, you know what? I'll take my 2 or 3 pips and just be happy with life. And that becomes a money management issue, tying it back the other way, because just as often it goes up there, and what'll happen is it'll hit that area, it'll hit 54.5 or something like that, turn around and then run all the way back down to your famous 40 again. It's just like, I don't know why, it's just something I've noticed, over time. So it becomes a money management issue that goes and plays into my strategy and my methodology, because I go and say, hey, this is something I observed. Let's put a money management rule in place that if I'm going to run into 55, I'm just going to go and set my TP pretty small. And I generally have my TP set small anyway. In fact, with my EA, when I place a trade, it automatically puts me in at 2.7 pips, and then I make a decision at that point. Do I try to go for more, or do I just leave it at it as it is? Or sometimes I'll go and drop it down to, 1.5 pips or something like that, just based on the type of trade I took. Again, why do I change that? I change it because of money management. I just, if it's the type of thing where if I took a trade, let's say, and I was taking a trade into really, really strong headwinds. For instance, let's say I was trying to take a long trade, and the day's been green, and we're at the top of the day. There's been no signs of it turning around. The H4 is green, the H1 is green, the M30 is green, and the M30, we're only 10 minutes into it, and it's got room to range, and the hour's got room to range. Shoot, if I take the trade, I still may take the trade, okay? But the difference is I'm only going to be looking to get a pip and a half, 2 pips out of it, and that's it, because the likelihood of it going against me just seems, again, observation, again, stories we tell ourselves, that in more times than not, it'll go against me, or it bounced hard, and then, yeah, I'll get it back, but generally speaking, I'm going to now sit in a trade like I did before I was talking about, where you're sitting in a trade for 30 minutes before I get the opportunity to exit out. Well, hey, if I get the pip and a half, take the pip and a half and just be happy. Yeah, I may be upset that, it ran now an extra 5-10 pips, because that happens too. But I think I'd rather be happy with that pip and a half in my pocket than be unhappy because it ran against me, and now I'm fighting it. I'd rather go and have a few dollars in my pocket, and not have to go through the grief. There's a cost for grief.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. So there you have it from Walmal. The story that he tells about money management. So, fellow traders, what's your money management story? Is it working? Because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.